cruel, 'cause I want her to.
Yo, welcome to Alpha Omega University. Welcome back. Today we got a VOD review. Two different videos. They're not as long as last week. I know last week we kind of ran a little longer than expected because we had some really long videos and there was a lot to break down, right? Today we got some shorter videos. We have two videos, one of them by Fax fighting against Ender, and this happened just a few days ago, I believe 5 or 6 days ago. This was 18 UTC, and it was basically open world, right? This is a really good fight that they had. Dazrun, or Dazrone, I don't know how to say his name. D-A-Z. He was calling. And we're getting the perspective that we're going to be seeing from this video from a grove keeper, right? So there's a lot of really how do I say this, textbook, very like direct, good notes to kind of look at with this fight, right? It's nothing necessarily like incredible, nothing like, oh my god, it's just insane, but there's a lot of like really good information that we can gain from this fight, right? It was just a really good example of how to do things and which other ones that we shouldn't do, right? The second fight is actually we're gonna go back in time a little bit. The second fight is gonna be from Blue Army, and it's a Blue Army fight during season 13. This fight was on June 4th. 2021. All right, so this is a while back. This was a Blue Army fighting, squad, right? The squad and PoE coalitions, right? Fighting against the Elevate, June, Homeless Crew coalitions at that time, right? So the big war that was happening in season 13. It's one video, but it has two timers combined in it. And basically the first timer was 18 UTC, the second timer is 21 UTC. This is going to be from a Grove Keeper perspective as well, but this one's being called by King Mojo, so we're going to be hearing his comms, and I know that there is not a lot of King Mojo's comms out in on YouTube and much, because he had a policy basically of not recording his comms, right? Because it was kind of like giving information to the enemy type of thing, right? So these videos with comms for King Mojo are kind of hard to find, but I do have a few of them, and I wanted to take a look at one of them today, because the last two VOD reviews we were looking at examples of ZvZ callers and ZvZ Zergs that have been like at the top, right, for the past few months to a year, okay, maybe a year and a half at most if you want to be generous. But essentially we've been looking at the best of the best at this time, right? So now we're going to start looking at the best of the best at different times, right? And I'm looking for videos as well. If anybody has a good video with comms of like season 3 Team Casualty, right? There were some amazing fights back then. I just can't find too many, and the videos that I do find, they usually have like music over them or something, like it's like you can't really hear the comms, right? So there's not a lot of clean videos to actually analyze from back then. But I would like to do Team Casualty from back in the day, season 3. We're going to be doing Blue Army a few times. I'm not going to do them back to back or anything like that, but essentially I'm going to sprinkle them in here and there, just like I am today, because Blue Army was around for a very long time. There are other guilds too that were very strong at different times, right? Like Elevate season 9, season 10, right? I have some videos already that I'm going to be looking at those as well. So yeah, that's basically it, right? KFC is another one that I have videos of. So we have a lot of videos of the past ZvZs that we're going to be reviewing, right? But always it's going to be the majority of the videos are going to be from contemporary times, like right now, and we're going to be breaking down like last week sort of thing. But every once in a while we'll throw in a little bit extra. All right, so now we've got all that out of the way. I know that was a lot, right? It was a lot. I had to break it down because I know a lot of people, man. A lot of people don't like Blue Army, or they really like Blue Army, right? And so there's like this stigma either for or against them. So we got to talk about those things to make sure that we're able to analyze the videos in a way that actually helps us get better. So make sure you guys follow, subscribe if you want to. You don't have to, but hit the follow button. It helps me a lot. So let's get into this. Give me 1 second here. I always have trouble doing this. Okay. All right. Looks like we're good. Yeah. All right. So the first video, like I said, is Fax versus Ender, right? And it's in Timberlope Dell, right? The very beginning of the video is actually really good because it shows us the map and everything, shows us the positioning, right? So we already see that they're northeast looking southwest. So it's not a great angle, right? But it's not absolutely terrible. And then I don't know the numbers on either side, but they look about even. If I have to say that one of the sides has more, I'd like to say it's Fax, but maybe like 5 to 10 guys at most, right? Like not a massive number more. So let's just go into the video and let's start reviewing the video and checking out why I felt that this was a really good video to watch.
Choke?
Yeah, they just...
Yeah, they're dismounted on the
Okay,
choke.
come northeast.
They're
Come northeast.
dismounted.
They're going slowly down.
Look southwest. Big Raven.
What the fuck?
Look
the
southwest. Look southwest.
The grail is between the
Spread big space.
that wall
We're
top.
not pushing, boys. We're not pushing.
Yep.
Remember, we're the outnumbered party here. Come.
All right, so he just said we're the outnumbered party. So I was wrong. Actually, now that I look at it better, because by the way, I only looked at this video maybe 2 times, just in reviewing it to make sure that it's a good video and that I can play it, right? So yeah, it looks like they are outnumbered, and that's actually really interesting, right? This is the first time I ever hear Daz calling, by the way, right? So I have no previous experience hearing him call, or you know, I don't necessarily have a bias on him because I don't know too much about him. I just know he's been around, but that's pretty much all I know, right? And right off the bat, the fact that he starts off the fight, dismounts, is taking it real slow, real easy, and he already knows, right? He's already mentioning it, like, hey, we're the outnumbered party. Like, these are things that are really important because it shows that he's focused, right? He's actually looking at what's happening in the fight. What are the situations? Is he in an advantageous situation or disadvantageous situation? Those are all really good things, right? Just kind of footnotes that it's easy to kind of forget the moment you dismount.
Come northeast.
I'm just saying.
Come northeast. Come northeast. Keep walking northeast. Keep walking northeast. They're coming in defensives now. Start popping them defensives. Keep coming northeast. Keep coming northeast.
All right, so here we see, let me see here. Here we see all of these guys here. They're coming through this tiny choke right here, right on the southwest. And so they're coming in and they're walking directly northeast into them. This is a terrible, terrible, terrible positioning by Ender, right? Like, they have all of this space down here that they can just walk up, and they have a ton of space up there that they can walk across. But they choose to clump up in a kind of like a long box here. And it's just absolutely atrocious. Like, there's no reason to be doing this when, like, Fax is not even applying pressure here, right? Fax is not even applying pressure here.
Help your front line and come northeast. Help your front line and come northeast. Help your front line and come northeast. Keep coming northeast. Keep walking northeast. Support the front line. Keep coming. Look at the southeast also. Keep going northeast.
So here, this can actually look like a very good play from Ender, because they're kind of taking over the wall, right? And remember, if you guys have been around and watching the other videos, the other episodes, you'll notice that I always comment on walls, right? And this is also why we're gonna do the VOD review. The next one is gonna be on Blue Army, is because that fight specifically had to do a lot with walls and like looking at walls, right? So anyway, my point is, I always talk about walls, and walls are extremely important, right? If you've been around, you know that, right? But here's the thing. This seems like a good move, but it's actually a very, very, very bad and stupid move by Ender. And the reason is because Taking over the wall is important, but only if you have support, right? You don't have any support right here to the west. Ender has absolutely no support on the west here. So therefore, this group on the east side on the wall is completely exposed. Not only are they exposed, they had to walk through this tiny choke, right? And they're now completely clumped. If Fax engages here, southeast against the wall, it'll delete everything, and then they can put their D-tanks looking to the southwest at the rest of them, right? So they can engage here, southeast, and then move up directly northeast, while their D-tanks are only having to look south, right? This is so easy for Fax to basically punish this, right? But this is because of a mistake from the Ender group pushing up right here on the wall.
East. Keep going northeast. Keep going northeast. Keep going northeast. Now southeast wall in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just like we like check.
See that like this it's just atrocious, right? But here's the actual like the cherry on top about this entire situation, right? This is the absolute cherry on top right here. This, oh my god, right? By the way, remember, this video was about 5 days ago. Okay, now I want you to look at the southeast wall, right? Forget, because look, if you look at here, right, there's not a single DPS. And I know because I looked at this part of the video like 5 times just to take a look at it and see what actually happened, right? Because I was very interested in this. So, yeah, there's not a single DPS below this line from the north side, right? All of the DPS, they're kind of, they're not late, but they're not there yet, right? It's just they're not hitting yet. So basically, all this damage came from the bomb squad, right? This bomb squad. Now, this bomb squad is extremely, extremely important because again, this happened 5 days ago. I've told you guys this, right? I even wrote this in a before the stream even started, back in December, right? When I was like getting ready and working on the stream and doing all those things, right? Back in December, I made a forum post. And in the forum post, I wrote about all the things that, you know, made me want to do the stream and the reasons for me making the stream and everything. And I wrote on there that that I had a prediction, right? That I felt as though Siegebo was gonna be like absolutely back in the meta, right? But I also wrote, I don't know how quick or how slow. I don't know, right? I can't predict the exact future, but I know that it's gonna be absolutely important because Siegebo is criminal right now. Siegebo is amazing right now, right? It's on the verge of OP, to be honest. It's on the verge of OP, right? But people think that it's not. People think it's garbage. People think it's useless. People say, "Oh, it doesn't do that much damage. It's weak. It's not good. You stay channeling too long to be able to actually shoot or whatever." Bomb squads have to engage quick and then get out. These guys engage so quick with their full-blown E, kill everything, and then back out. Now, granted, they can't get countered because they're up the wall, right? But regardless of that, the point I'm making is that the timing of this bomb squad is so fast. I want you guys to look at it again. I'm gonna rewind it so you guys can see. Watch the east side.
The front line. Keep coming. Look at the southeast wall soon. Keep going northeast. Keep going northeast. Keep going northeast. Keep going northeast. Now southeast wall in 5, 4.
So here they come on the east wall. You can kind of see their name tags. I know I'm covering it a bit, but you can see their name tags. There they are, right?
3, 2, 1.
And there's the siege bows, the first siege bows, right? And I think there's 3 siege bows in here.
Just like we like check.
Yeah, there's 3. Look at that.
Just like we like check.
Everything dies. Everything dies. And the reason is because the siege bow range is like that. It's massive. It's massive. So it hits literally every single one. In fact, you see this guy back here? He's getting ticked by one of the siege bows. I think it's this guy right here, because he's the one that's farthest forward. He's getting ticked by them. That damage is not from anybody else except them. That's 1 tick of damage on a tank. That's a full-blown tank. That's 1 tick of damage of the siege bow on a tank. Just 1 siege bow. And by the way, I checked and I triple checked. They weren't beamed. They weren't beamed, right? There was one person that was beaming, but he started beaming after the siege bow started hitting. Right? So like This is what I'm talking about. Like, Siege Bow is amazing, right? So the fact that they're using this, I mean, I didn't expect the Siege Bow Bomb Squad. When I made my prediction, I did not expect the Siege Bow Bomb Squad, right? I didn't think it was that viable for a Siege Bow Bomb Squad. But seeing this is, oh my god, this is insane, right? Now let's keep watching.
Just like we like
west,
check.
some
Go
detect
northeast
US,
now.
some detect
Go
US, some
northeast.
detect
Drop me
US
kites on the
idea.
west and go northeast. Drop me kites on the west and go northeast.
Now, here's one thing that Ender is doing right, but also wrong. Look at all the people that are down here, staying far back to the southwest. And you see how they came back? I'm going to rewind it real quick so you guys can see. First, they're going to walk towards them. They see that they engaged. And instead of engaging on them, they pull back, right? So that's the bad thing they're doing. And then I'm going to show you the right thing they're doing.
Just like we like
west,
check.
some
Go
detect
northeast
US,
now.
some detect
Go
US, some
So here they're walking northeast, and then watch their turnaround. See how they're turning around?
Drop me
Detect
kites
US
on the
idea.
west and go northeast. Drop me kites on the west and go northeast.
That's a giant mistake from their caller. I don't know who Ender caller is. If you guys know who it is, drop it in the chat. I'll look up more videos by him, but this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. Like you know they don't have cooldowns. They just blew everything, right? And everybody on your east wall got deleted, but you have cooldowns. You're in position. Now, the right thing that they are doing is look at all of these reds up here. Now, it's not a lot, but it's a good amount. And that is helping a lot to create a concave, right? So they're looking like this right now. And the enemy is over here to them, right? So they're actually taking their northwest angle off of them. And they're looking at the southeast wall and at least holding it. Remember when I was talking about, if you were here for the last episode, it was the crescent pressure, right? This is what they're establishing right now. It's a great position. But they give it up by walking southwest again. And again, I don't understand. I think it's just inexperience from the caller of Ender. It probably is. That's most likely what it is.
Drop me kites on the west and go northeast.
So now they're choosing to go in. See those guys that are going in? The guys that were up in the front? They're going in. But all of the rest of the guys, because the caller said come back southwest for literally 1 second, everybody's now completely out of position. They're not going to be able to hit it. He should have just not called disengage, to be honest.
Stop
Did
the
he
front
miss
line.
go
Stop the
west?
front line.
Just in
Help
case.
46
I thought moved to the west. Yeah.
Help my front line.
I can stop there on the west.
Help my front line. Help the front line. Help.
And he's still telling them to go in. This is why they're still going in, right? And now they're going to get out of position because of that. And now it's up to Daz to ensure that he counters on this appropriately. If he counters on this appropriately, he's going to be in a much better off position because the enemy just overextended themselves and they're not going to get a lot of damage in. They might kill one, maybe two at most. But if Daz wants to punish, he can punish here. And this is where last week we were talking about callers who, or that was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago we were talking about callers who understand what they should do, and then other callers who actually do what they're supposed to do, right? Because just because you understand what you're supposed to do doesn't mean you actually do it in the moment, right?
Help your boys. Don't leave people behind. Look to the front line. Good. Step up now. Southwest.
Now he sees that the damage is over, and he immediately tells his people, hey, it's time to step up. It's time to move forward. It's time to get ready to hit them, right? Like, right now, Daz is calling so relaxed. He's so relaxed. He's so in control of this fight, right? He's not getting, how do I say this? He's not getting distracted by things, right? Like, he's not getting distracted by, oh my God, the damage, or oh this, or their battle mounts, or whatever. No, he's just staying in the moment. He's looking at things objectively and just making all the right decisions, right? He is such a complete caller right now, right? He's under control in every aspect of the match right now. And Ender, on the opposite hand, is doing everything wrong, right? Everything wrong.
Step up now. Step up. Look west of you. Step up on west in 5. Step up on 4, in 3, in 2, in 1. West in the fucking trees. West in the fucking trees. West in the fucking trees. Good. Come east.
So here he engages west, right? And right here, it's like the Ender guys, they're all spreading so far out. And it's like now, it's like they're completely wrapping Daz, right? Because Daz decided to engage into a direct motion into one group, right? Remember when we were talking about last episode, we were talking about sword engages. This is what he did. This is a sword engage because they're all clumped, right? Now, they're wrapped completely. Ender's position's actually not bad at all right here. The problem is that Ender needs to full send it here. If Ender full sends it, they can actually punish Daz for engaging the way he did. Now, I do gotta say, Daz didn't try to go deep here, right? So for Daz's part, he didn't try to go deep. He punished because he knew he could, but he didn't get greedy. And that's what's showing again. He's staying under control of the fight. He's not getting greedy. He's not getting distracted by potentials and possibilities. He's just choosing what he's supposed to do based on what is the best possible outcome, as opposed to just, I want to end the fight now. I want to get impatient and just finish it all, right? Daz so far is doing a really, really good job. And like I said, I didn't know anything about Daz from before. So I'm actually very, very surprised at how well he played this ZvZ, because I'd never actually even seen a ZvZ by him, right? So the fact that he is so unknown by so many people, like people know him from like Trash Talk Discord and all that, right? But like as a caller, right? He actually, right now, he's surprising.
Come east again. Come east. Come
Yo, what's up, Mubrafi?
east. Lock down the flanks. Pop Knight helmets. Demons up. Demons up.
They're locked in the
Stop
west.
them. Stop.
By the way, I do gotta say, this tank that we're watching, X keys, some shit like that. Anyway, this tank that we're watching is actually doing a really good job, right? If we have time, I'm gonna go back and then we're gonna watch the video again under his like just looking at what he does in the fight, right? But I want to mention, if we don't have time and we take too long, then I do want to mention, like, he actually, as a grove keeper, he's doing an amazing job, man. Like, he's always watching these flanks, right? He's always looking at the sides, and he's backing up when he needs to, right? Like, he's doing everything so good right now as a D-tank.
Stop them.
I
Stop
see
them.
you come from the south.
There's one's
One
coming
south,
northeast.
one south,
Coming
one south.
northeast.
They're coming from the west.
Coming northeast.
You're missing
Coming
grid, you're
northeast.
missing grid, go
Demons
west.
up. Help your boys.
So you see, now we have a trend, right? When something happens once, it's a consequence, right? Or not a consequence, it's a coincidence. When something happens once, it's a coincidence. When something happens twice, right, it starts to become more of a trend, right? 3 times, that's it. You're 100% it's a trend, or you're doing it on purpose, right? We're seeing the same exact thing. Daz is pulling back to the northeast, right? And then the Ender Caller is chasing at a full distance and overcommitting, right? Just because he's too greedy, or probably he just doesn't have enough experience, right? But here's the thing. Daz is just playing with him at this point. Daz is literally in control of this fight so much that he's just like, yeah, like he's just blindly calling, like, what's the next step? What's the next step? He doesn't have to think about it because it's so easy for him.
Keep coming northeast. Look to the southeast wall again. Keep coming northeast. Good resets. Look southeast wall.
Little help
Actually,
on
we're
the
gonna
west.
See that? He's talking about the wall, right? Boom, right? Again, the wall is extremely important. The problem with this is that he's wanting to bring his entire Zerg to this wall, and then he's going to give up the west angle. That's not good, right? That's very, very bad. So the thing is, it's fine if he wants to make sure that he gets that east wall. That's fine. But individual players up here, right? All these individual players need to collectively decide, we're going to watch that west flank. There shouldn't be, like, the caller shouldn't be telling all these specific players individually, hey, you guys should spread a little bit to the west because we can't have everybody clump on the southeast wall, right? You got to watch these walls, right? And this is where also disengaged tanks, like, this is their job, absolutely. But also some like melee DPS, especially melee DPS, should be up in the northwest, trying to make sure that they don't get wrapped from the northwest.
Go northwest. We're gonna go northwest. Come northwest.
Someone?
No, don't hug.
All right, so see, boom, right there. And remember, like I said, I only watched like this video like twice, so I don't remember all the things that he says and does and when he does them, right? So I'm literally just responding to what I'm watching, right? Just like I said, he noticed he was starting to get clumped. He noticed he was going to lose the west wall. What does he do? Or not the west wall, the west flank. What does he do? He moves his guys back northwest, right? Again, here's the thing, right? I'm sitting here, chilling, pausing the video, taking my time, talking shit, right? I can see all these things because I'm chilling, right? But it's a whole different thing to be able to see those things while you're literally in the fight, right? So what Daz is doing here is very, very, very good, right? Again, it's textbook to what you should do, but the fact that he's doing everything he should do shows a lot of promise from him as a caller.
Come northwest. Be ready to lock it down southeast. We're going west in
But you
5,
see, bro, I
4,
can't see
3,
here.
2, 1. Deep west. Deep west. Deep west.
So here he's not actually wanting to go deep. He's just telling his boys to go deep because his boys are too far back. So they need to go deep for them to be able to hit this clump. But this clump is actually the front line, like literally the front of the enemy, right? Because most of the enemy's back here, right? So this is him just literally catching the enemy off guard because they gave him free kills. This is very good. Now, what he does after this is very important because he needs to make sure that he spreads his Zerg is all clumped, right? He needs to spread his Zerg to the east and to the north right after this engage.
Mow down those clumps. Good. Come northeast again.
He says, come northeast, right? He doesn't want to overextend. Again, he's playing relaxed. He's taking his time. And this is the thing, right? I respect callers that take their time and play like this way more than callers that just want to end the fight in 1 minute or in 2 engages or in 3 engages, right? The reason is because being able to look at the fight and slow it down, take it easy, take the kills one by one, right? That is what a great caller needs to do in order to win the toughest fights in the game, right? And so what Daz is doing here is actually really, really good. Like, honestly, I'll tell you the truth. Ender is playing so badly. If Daz really wanted to, he can probably full send it. He just needs to spread his boys northwest, southeast, and full send it southwest, right? And Ender will probably just crumble. But you should never underestimate your opponent. You should never underestimate your opponent. Just because they're making a lot of mistakes right now does not mean they're not going to punish you for your mistakes. And that's what he's doing, right? He's making sure that he's not making any mistakes. He knows he's winning, and he's not letting the enemy come back into the fight. This is beautiful.
Come northeast again. Come northeast again. Be ready to help your def tanks. Come northeast. Spread.
See them right there, number 3. Right, they're full engaging at a full distance while Fax is already far away. Right. Again, this is a trend. Right, this is a trend, and so many callers don't like, especially newer callers. And I'm saying this for the Ender caller specifically because I know at this point I know for a fact that the Ender caller is newer. Right, and if he's not, then I don't know what experience he's been getting, but I assume that the Ender caller right here is much newer. Because he keeps making the same mistake over and over and over. If you guys are friends with that guy, whoever the caller is for Ender, let him know to watch this video. Because it'll show him exactly what he did wrong in this fight. Because he does the same thing over and over. He just keeps overextending his Zerg when it's too late to counter engage for no reason. And then he backs up his Zerg when he shouldn't.
Take the space. Be ready with demons. They're looking. Step back northeast. Step back northeast. Help your front line now. Start helping your front line.
So now here's the thing, right? Now they're taking a northwest angle, right? To try to wrap them and hit them from their direct west, right? Because Fax is over here. And then they have another group down in the south here. This seems like a good move, and usually it would, except for the fact that you don't have a center anymore. See, when you're going to flank the enemy, you need to have a strong center and then hit from the sides, right? But you can't go and completely move your Zerg to the sides completely and leave a wide open angle in the center, because then what that does is allows Fax to decide, I can full engage south and then D-tanks on the west, or let me see here, or I can engage west and D-tanks on the south, right? So you're making it so easy to do this because they're not going to be able to do this if you have a big group here. If these guys engage to the west, if Fax engages to the west here, right? They engage that way. These guys engage them directly this way. And then the east flank can also hit them, right? Or the opposite on the east side, right? You guys get the point. So essentially, here, leaving this middle out is completely absurd. I like their flank move. I really do. But you can't do this if you don't secure the center first.
They're coming from the west.
They're coming from the west. Full west. Full west.
Them on the west.
Yeah, listen.
So he's saying stop them on the west, right? He's already looking. He stopped them on the west. Let's see what they do.
Someone help on the west.
Look
West
at
is
them.
south, west is south, west is south.
Good demons.
Now, not only did they go west, northwest of them, and then try to engage them east, Now they're actually overextending themselves so far to the northeast that Fax came in and taking their south angle from them. Right? Now, Fax still has people up here and down here. So Fax is starting to get a little bit split. They have to be careful. But basically what this does mean too is that they can actually outflank this group up here, while the other group is down here. And remember what I explained, right? They can just put the D tanks on the south now and then just full engage to one side, right? It's like people think that sandwiching the enemy is always good. It's not always good to sandwich the enemy when the enemy has significantly more than you on either side, because then they can just full push one and hold the other, right? Because these tanks are so useful in this game.
Look northwest of us. Look northwest of us. On the flank. In 5, in 4, in 3, in 2, in 1. Mow them down northwest of us. Mow them down northwest of us.
Boom. So you see how easy they all fall, right? Northwest. They're all dying. And then what do you have down here? You have people, a couple of D tanks that are watching the south, right? And then on top of it, Ender is not putting pressure from the far south. Here, let me catch up on I just see some people typing up. Bahardin says you should try to set up this VOD review with the callers to get their perspective too. Yeah, most callers don't actually most callers don't record, right? And the callers that do record, a lot of them don't like having their comms out there, right? And even if they do, even less of them like being reviewed because they think that like people are just gonna talk shit, right? And they got like, you know, they got egos, I guess you can say, right? So yes, I would like that, absolutely, but it makes it hard a lot because a lot of people don't want to give up info that they're having, right? A panel of familiar callers to discuss it. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like it is a good idea, Baharding, but at the same time, it's like if I start kind of bringing people in this early, like I kind of just started, right? It's gonna make it a lot harder for the future in the sense of like trying to make sure that everybody's schedules are lined up and things like that, right? Because at the end of the day, we just started the stream like 3 weeks ago, so it'll be a long-term thing, right? But yeah, eventually I can start inviting people. Yo, Lechero, what's up, man? Yeah, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I'm sure Slaya would be down. I could talk with him. Yeah, but not yet. Because the thing is like I want to kind of grow the channel little by little, right? And then eventually start having people come into the channel and stuff. That'd be cool. But yeah, it is a good idea. I appreciate it. Anyway, all right. So back to the video. So, yeah, the guys in the south, I mean, they're not even applying pressure. They need to come up here more. They have some individual players that are actually doing this, right? Like this guy, but like that's healers, right? This is a DPS, a couple more guys. But aside from this, it's like this is nothing, man. Like they're letting their guys up in the north die. But it's also because they did it to themselves. They split themselves by allowing that center to just fracture.
Yeah.
Gross repeat.
Yeah, I'm
Cancel the beetle and backland.
See what he just said? Daz, what Daz just said. Like I said, he's in complete control, man. He's in complete control. He said rinse and repeat, right? Rinse and repeat. Like he's basically saying, yeah, like we're just gonna do this, and then we're gonna just do it again, and then we're just gonna, we're gonna come back, we're gonna hold, and then we're gonna do it again, and then we're gonna come back. And at this point, he knows that he's literally just walking over them. Right? He's just walking over them. And the enemy doesn't even realize it. They don't even realize all the mistakes they're making, and they're piling up one by one. And Daz is just playing with them at this point.
Come southwest now. Step up.
I'm still on the
the front line. Step up. Come southwest. Step up. Southwest. Step up.
See that? I do got a comment right here, man. What he just did, he saw that they got Great Arcane, right? And then he goes and run and gets himself up there with the boots. And then he uses a ring, right, to slow them and keep clumping them even more. This kind of thing right here is going to allow his Zerg to catch up. And then his caller is going to see it and be like, oh, there's a clump there. Let's engage it, right? This is the kind of stuff that individual players like him are doing at all times in a fight that actually enable the caller to play better, to do things, right? The caller is responding to the situations, but if your Zerg is not giving you these kinds of plays right here, like that Great Arcane them and him, the Grove Keeper, it's like if his Zerg is not passively doing these small little plays that are actually critical to the entire fight, right, then it's going to be really hard for the caller to win fights, right? So here, not only is Daz playing really well, but his Zerg is playing so nice, right? Like, they're giving him the ability to play well.
Come. They're trying to kite now. They're on the back foot now. We step up.
Wait, we are staggered. Wait.
See that? He's analyzing. Again, he's just constantly analyzing. They're in the back foot now. We can start playing a little different, is what he's saying, right? We can start putting a little more pressure, right? That's what he's thinking, right? He's in control of this fight. He's thinking about what is happening right now and what should I respond to because the things have changed, right? Not only did I come in outnumbered, but now at this moment in the fight, I'm no longer outnumbered. So maybe now I can start putting a little more pressure. I can switch up how I'm fighting and play a little more aggressive to make sure that we finish up this fight, right? Being able to adapt mid-fight is a very important thing that callers need to be able to do well, and he's doing it well right now.
Yes, I'm giving you plenty of time. Come south. Take the west from them. Look south. Look northwest.
XYS, go a bit
Look at those
west,
tanks.
please.
Okay, now full southeast on the road, just on the tanks. Wait. They're coming in. Demons up.
So here they came in with the first group, and now they're looking to come in with a second group. I don't think this was by design. I think this was just the second group down here is late. This group, they're just late to respond, right? Either way, XQYS, let's just call him X. Let's call him X. X came in and just kind of stopped things anyway, right? So he's doing great plays regardless, but the enemy's making it so easy as well.
Everywhere. Carpet of demons. Everywhere demons. Demons and locusts and heals. Good.
Look at his party, right? Like he just got 4 engaged on and like absolutely no damage. Like absolutely like this guy came down 5% HP. Like that's it, right? He's in control. Now I do want you guys to notice right here what is happening, right? Down here to the southeast, the bomb squad is back, right? I don't know where they were this entire time, but they're back, right? And let's see again, let's see how much damage Siegebo can actually put out in the fight, right? Because so many people don't believe it. I don't understand it, but you know what? It's Zergs like Fax that are taking advantage of this and are using it appropriately, and this is what happens. Watch.
Nice. Come back northeast a little.
Absolutely atrocious. Just like this is just gone. I haven't seen a fucking clap deleted like that in a while, man. Like that quickly by a ranged Zerg, much less a fucking Siegebo Zerg, man. Now I know they got a permafrost in there now. They did it last time. I didn't see one, but they do now. But I mean, the permafrost is not the one making all this damage, man. Right? Let's look at it again.
Everywhere demons and locusts and heals. Good.
So here it comes in.
Nice. Come back northeast a little bit more.
It's just gone, man. It's just gone. Man, when I was watching this, man, I was dying because I looked at this and I just like it's funny, man. It's funny how good these weapons are. But what's most funny is that people just be like, no, it's not good. Like, look at this guy, man. Look at this guy, right? Like look at that. That's massive damage, man. All right, let me look at some people are asking here. Let me see. Yo, Latorian, what's up, man? It's all good as long as you're here, man. Booty Dragon, who am I? Oh yeah, it's not on there. That's funny. I'm Kelron, dude. I'm Kelron. If you don't know me, then that's okay. That's okay. I can still teach you something. Dex, what's up? Your video. Yeah, I told you. Yeah, so Dex in the chat, Dex40, he's the one that actually showed me this video in the first place. The moment I saw it, man, I was like, yeah, we got to do this one. Witchwork plus Pierce did 50% of them. Yeah, but here's the thing. Witchwork plus Pierce could be any other bomb squad, right? Any other bomb squad has Witchwork plus Pierce nowadays, right? But you don't see bomb squads deleting this many people this fucking quick. And even with a Siegebo, that's even like Siegebo is supposed to not do damage in one engage, in one hit. It's supposed to be damaged like in 4 different hits, right? It's like, it's massive, bro. It's massive. He says, yes, you do. I feel like you just came here to argue, man. It's okay. It's okay. Siegebos are stackable. Of course, Mr. Dawid. Yeah, of course they're stackable. All right. I'm going to keep it going.
clear them, sure. One greedy west, one greedy west.
I will force sending it
And then you can like everyone can be south, south, or south, south, west.
Step
Yeah,
up.
this is south. I don't have cooldown.
I'm on the west.
I'm to west, only one guy, don't move right
Come
now.
northeast. Come northeast. Come northeast. Breathe. You're good.
We have on me,
Just your support
like a
and
grey,
healers. Walk southeast now.
or what?
Look southwest
You
of
should
you.
repeat.
Walk southwest of you. Walk southwest of you. They're full west of you. Look northwest. Look southwest and northwest. Spread. My def tanks take the space.
Yeah, whole south.
So here, he actually overcommitted to the southeast, right? He overcommitted to the southeast, and now he's acknowledging it and going northwest, right? And starting to spread to the northwest because he knows, again, just because the enemy's on the back foot and just because you've killed a lot of them does not mean that they can't turn around and punish you. I've seen so many Zergs that have come back from basically being absolutely dead and just getting one great hit, and then suddenly the entire fight turns and then you lose and you don't even know why that happened, right? And it's these kinds of things that people need to pay attention to, right? It's like you can't get overzealous and just think, oh yeah, I'm gonna finish them off here no matter what, right? It's like, no, Daz is still playing it slow, and that's a good thing. That's a really, really, really good thing.
South and west, south and west, south and west,
Don't
southwest,
touch the cliff.
northwest.
Yeah.
Follow me. I'm on the road.
I'm on them. I'm on them.
Follow me. I'm on the road. Just hold. Just hold. Just hold. Okay. Full on the road. Wait. Give me defensive in the back. Okay.
I need some
stop that
hills
engage.
on
They're
the
coming
west.
in. Demons
Fuck.
up. Demons up.
Coming
Demons
up.
up. Give me kites on stops and demons. Walk in now. Walk in now. Walk.
So see how much CC the individual players are putting out, right? Like, we're gonna watch it back again just so you guys can see and pay attention to how hard it is to just move around the field for Ender right here in the last like 10 seconds or so.
Just hold. Okay. Full on the road. Wait. Give me defensive in the back.
Look at that, they're clumping and now they're coming back and they're still getting hit by other things.
Okay.
I need some
There's a smoke bomb,
They're
hills
engaged.
on
They're
the
coming in.
west.
Demons
Fuck.
up. Demons up.
Coming
Demons
up.
up. Give me
stun, right?
kites on stops and demons. Walk in now. Walk through all of this shit. Walk through all of
Very
this shit.
good.
Give me
Keep
cleanses.
going.
I will full sending it.
Ring in the back, right? He's getting ahead of them because he knows it's time to run them down, right? These are things that are like the caller's not telling him what to do. He's just doing it on his own, right? Because this is a great Grove Keeper play right here, right? Amazing. He understands the situation of the fight. He knows what the next step is. The next step is we're gonna run the enemy down, right? So that means that I need to start catching them, right? I need to start getting inside of them. Like, look at this one, this Hodge. He's just waiting for the call. He's ready. He's absolutely ready. He's just waiting for the call, right? So these are all things that are showing great play from the individual players in Fax here.
West on the road in 5, in 4, in 3, in 2, in 1. West on the road, mow that shit down. West on the road, just demolish everything they have. Just break their
At this point, it's over.
mental today. Come west.
Yeah,
the guy said, "Oh yeah." Yeah, so yeah, that's basically it, right? That's the first episode, the first video. Daz overall makes a couple little mistakes, but Ender doesn't punish, so it doesn't matter, right? But overall, Daz is on point with the majority of his calls. He's aware of the situation. He's aware of the terrain. He's aware of the enemy and their movements. He's aware of their cooldowns, right? He understands when the enemy's engaging on him, what direction, and he's also exploiting their mistakes, right? Like when Ender split in two, he full pushed one side and made space to the other, right? These are all great things. When his Zerg was clumping by the wall on the east earlier in the video, he told his Zerg, oh, never mind, let's back up, let's slow it down, let's spread out. Right now, as he's trying to push it and finish the Zerg, the enemy Zerg, he notices he starts clumping a little again, so he tells his boys to start spreading, right? Daz was in complete and utter control in this entire fight, right? That I said it multiple times, and the reason I say it is because it's so hard to find a caller who stays in complete control of the fight like this. And you can say, oh, well, yeah, he stayed in complete control because Ender sucks. And it's like, it's not about whether they suck or not, right? It's about what he was doing in response to the things that Ender was bringing to the table, right? At the end of the day, he stayed in control because the enemy could not get him off balance. Because that's the goal of the enemy. The enemy was trying to throw things at him like, I'm going to flank him from the west, right? I'm going to take over the wall. right? They were trying to take control of the fight, but they couldn't. They never were able to. And Daz kept his composure, didn't freak out, didn't go crazy, didn't start making rash decisions. Like, oh my God, we got a huge kill. Let's go. Let's finish him, right? There's so many callers that do that. And then they get so excited, they get turned on and wiped in one engage, right? It's hard. It's hard to actually keep your composure as a caller because at the end of the day, you're a player yourself and you get excited and stuff too, right? And so Daz does a really good job of staying put here. I don't know if this is how Daz always calls, like really chill, really relaxed, really informative, right? I don't know. Like I said, this is the only one I've ever heard, but in this one, he did a really good job. All right, so the next video, let me take a look here. Give me a second. I gotta set up the next video. It's gonna be Blue Army. All right. So again, like I said, if you weren't here at the beginning of the video, this is Blue Army back in season 13, between the squad and PoE coalitions fighting against Elevate, June, Homeless Crew Coalition. I don't know what to call them, right? They all have different tags and all that stuff. Anyway, those two sides were fighting in this. The first video, so there are two videos in this video. The first video is 18 UTC that day on June 4th, 2021, and then the second one is 21 UTC. And what I want you guys to focus on is how the Zerg movement is kind of taking place, right? Because we're gonna watch and we're gonna listen to King Mojo calling, and we're gonna be looking at how he controls the movement of his Zerg to make sure they always position in a way that is advantageous to them, whether that's taking the angle, taking the wall, taking hills, things like that, right? That's what we want to focus on because it shows a lot of why the fights went the way they went. All right, let me see here. Sorry, I always have trouble transitioning this one. I'm getting used to it. Like I said, I never streamed or anything before, so 3 weeks is all the experience I got streaming, so it takes me a minute. All right. So this is from a Grove Keeper perspective. All right, I'm gonna start it now. They die! Warrior. Comes up.
Crew will be talking to you.
Okay, yo, listen, we're cutting something.
All right, so I'm gonna give you guys reference, okay? So Blue Army and squad are in the zone. They're all right here. They're mostly up there, right? Down here is Homeless Crew, and down here is June. Okay, now if I remember correctly, they're both in Call Alliance, Homeless Crew and June, at this time. So they're actually allied, right? But they have two different callers. Homeless Crew is Africa now. You see him right here. And then June, I don't know who's calling for June. Maybe Del Negro, or I don't know. I don't remember who exactly was calling it in this specific fight. I don't know who's calling in this specific fight for June. But yeah, so we got Homeless Crew to the southeast of Blue Army, and we got June to the south of Blue Army. PoE is in the field, but they're let me see, because there's also other guilds like Guild Xenia is in here, and PoE is like somewhere up there. I'm coloring in like on the blob on the southeast there, and then up there in the far northeast, it's PoE and Guild Xenia are in the zone as well. All right, I don't know exactly what they're doing at this moment.
Okay, don't listen to the K West, my boys.
Yo, Mubrafi. And Dex, you're there too. Where are you? I don't see you here, but I did see you in the video later. Oh, there you are. Yeah, we got two people that were in the chat right in the video.
Cat West, my boys, Cat West here. Get ready on Homeless Crew, here. Get ready, boys. Get ready to turn on this. In 5, yo, squad south. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, yo.
So see how he's engaging southeast here, right? But he's telling his Zerg to move west first, and then he's telling to engage south, right? Why? Because right now he has a terrible angle, and he knows it too, right? So he needs to try to take over angle, because otherwise he's gonna get pushed up this wall over here You can see on the mini map, he's going to get pushed up that wall northwest. That's not going to be good because he's going to lose angle forever, right? He needs to make sure that he takes angle right here.
Run over homeless crew, run over homeless crew, run over homeless crew, run over homeless crew, run over homeless crew here. Go to the back line, go to the back line, go to the back line, go to the back line.
Now, remember yesterday, or not yesterday, sorry, 2 days ago when I was talking about the calling styles, right? Remember I was telling you guys about how it right now the majority of the Zergs in the game play when they engage like one clump, basically one giant clump, and they delete giant clumps, right? Like that's the way to play right now. For the people that haven't played the game for like too long, like let's say you've only played the game for a year, maybe 2 years at most, like understand that wasn't the way the game was played forever, right? And it also doesn't mean that that's the only way to play the game, right? Right here, Blue Army's engaging southeast, but they're engaging one clump, two clumps up there, and then there's another one that's farther north. I saw it in a different video. But essentially, there's like 3 different clumps that are getting hit at the same time. It doesn't mean that Blue Army's playing badly. It means that they're spreading the damage because they're actually trying to play for pressure as opposed to play for kills. Because pressure will get them the positioning, and then the positioning will get them the kills. Nowadays, it's all about just getting the kills in the first place, and that's it, right? There are 2 different ways of playing. There are 2 different strategies. At the end of the day, trying to get kills quickly is more risky, but it's higher reward, right? If you do end up getting the kills, then you're probably going to win the fight.
Nice. But listen. Take this out angle. It's okay. Just keep running over homeless crew. Yeah, we're pushing him southeast. We're pushing him southeast here.
So listen to that, right? Listen to the communication with TeamSpeak, right? And this is very important because a lot of callers are terrible on communicating with TeamSpeak, right? Right here, Mojo is actually staying very, very relaxed, very chill, right? And he's giving information back and forth with TeamSpeak players, which is like PoE and others, right? And so he's able to actually assess the situation of what's happening on the field. He's calling his engages, right? But he's also communicating calmly and directly with the rest of the people for the entire fight in TeamSpeak, right? So again, that is really, really, really hard to do. Just like how we were looking at Daz keeping his composure, right? Just imagine adding another layer to that where there's multi-front fights with multiple callers that you have to like work with on TeamSpeak, right? And Mojo's able to keep his composure here.
Squad's getting turned on right now. Full in from June on squad.
Okay, it's fine. We can keep wiping homeless crew here, and then we'll turn on June. Get ready, boys.
So see how he's getting info, right? He's getting info saying, oh yeah, like there's this other thing happening over there, right? And he's saying, okay, but that's okay. We're going to focus on one group. Delete that one group, and then we're going to move on to the next group, right? Because we can't fight everybody at the same time. So what we need to do is build space, build distance between us and the other groups, and just focus on one group at a time. We delete one group, and the rest will fall one by one, just like that first group fell, right? So that's what he's doing right now. So basically, we have all of June and Homeless Crew clumping together on the northeast side here. Blue Army is pushing right here on the north, as well as down to the south, right? There's a big gap here, and that's not good, right? Like the Blue Army guys should be walking a little more southeast here, right? But still, they're going south because they're gonna try to take the wall from them and then go north and around, right? This is like the biggest macro plays in the game, and this is being done by individual players. This is not being called directly in every call. He's just saying we need to take angle, we need to take the positioning, we need to full push on Homeless Crew, and the players themselves are taking it upon themselves to ensure that we can accomplish it in the best possible way, as opposed to all clumping together in one place.
Okay, ready, boys. Okay. Just focus east here. Get ready? And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sprint to southeast, into the backline east. Nice, boys. They're trying to turn, but stay in the backline. Here. Kill the bomb.
Pop dot and ping is their backline.
So see here, they only killed like 5 people there, right? It was a full engage. They killed 5 people. Again, it's a slow move, little by little. And remember how we were looking at Fax? Daz was taking it real slow, right? And that was a much smaller fight than this. This is a cluster queued fight. And by the way, the 2 zones that are queuing into this zone are also cluster queued themselves. right? This is some absolutely massive fight, right? So what I'm saying is, like, at all levels, smaller, bigger, whatever, you can play a very slow and methodical push onto the enemy, killing one by one and killing individual players like it's pull-up, right? He just said, make sure you guys kill LeBron, right? That's its pull-up. So what I'm saying is, like, killing these key players is gonna make sure that the enemy is very, very weak overall. And when you do decide to full send it, they don't have their key players anymore, right? This is very, very important.
Keep walking east, keep walking east, keep walking east. Listen, kill Africa here, kill Africa here, kill Africa here.
So now, see again, right? Here's Africa. He sees him, he says, kill Africa here, right? Because he's trying to kill off the key players. Because Africa here is actually the caller for homeless crew, right? But also just killing a key player is very important.
Look east,
June is coming to us.
Yo, listen, we're southwest of June. No, can you engage?
Trying to rotate to the southeast
My
right now.
boys, hold the southeast angle. Look to the east here.
So see how he's showing. Remember, angles, right? Angles, positioning, it's what wins fights, right? So he's saying, hold the southeast angle. Don't let the enemy take our southeast angle. Remember, when this fight started, literally like 2 minutes ago, Blue Army had a shit angle. They were fighting from the northwest, fighting to an enemy that had the south and east angle on them. Now suddenly, Blue Army has the south and southwest angle, and the enemy's getting pushed northeast. Now look at the minimap. I want you guys to look at where this fight starts, right? And then it shifted south to the wall, and by the end, we're gonna end up here in the far east, because the enemy gets pushed back, and the angle is a huge difference.
Here, 10 seconds, we'll go back in. We have angle. Look rough here. Yo.
See, he says, we have angle. Now, the enemy is engaging from here and then engaging south, right? And look at the D-Tank's positioning, right? Oh, this is an enemy. Where was that? There was one that was, oh, here it is, right? This is an Icicle, Grove Keeper, right? These are all disengaged tanks. They're positioned to ensure that if the enemy does engage from their north and directly south, then they're going to be able to stop it. But on top of it, and here's the Negro, by the way. I think he is calling this fight. So if they stop it, then the enemy's not going to be able to do anything. But also remember, because of positioning, the enemy has to engage this way, right? Which means what? They're engaging north to south. It's literally the worst way to engage in any fight at all, right? It's the worst way to engage. Because Blue Army took the positioning here, and it literally took them 2 minutes to take the position, right? But because they focus not on getting kills, but rather on taking angle, now suddenly the enemy has to engage at this shitty ass angle in which they're not going to kill too many people.
Come to west. Yo, they're full engaging on me. Come to west here. I'm turning. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yo, engage north on June. Hey, no.
So now, here we have June over there on the far east, right? We have June on the far east. And so June engaged south onto Blue Army, and they engaged from the top side as well. There was some people from the top side. The top side people got stopped, and the east side people got soaked, right? Look at these HP bars, right? Some people took damage, things like that, right? But they soaked it with defensives. So now they can counter engage and hit them straight northeast. But you cannot lose the wall. Even if you get kills, it doesn't matter. Where you get the kills matters, because if you can take that wall and secure that wall, you basically secured the fight. So let's see what happens here.
Northeast there. Nice. We're wiping June here. See you, bud. Now listen, homeless crew's coming in.
So now we're seeing more of the south angle, right? Look at them. June is fighting for that south angle, but all of these name tags down here are Blue Army name tags, right? So Blue Army's positioning, they got some people over there. These guys actually just came in from the queue, by the way. So like they're just getting there. But all of these people are the ones fighting, right? And they're fighting for the wall, because these guys are trying to push, but instead, this is why I say, pay attention to where they engage. Again, Africa's right here, right? Africa's there. Del Negro was there. I don't know where he is now. But basically what I'm saying is this is the main front of both fights, right? At the time, Homeless Crew and June were both very, very strong, right? And so Blue Army here is fighting against the strongest opponents that there are in the game, right? And so they're able to do this where they're trying to go south, but actually look at how they actually engage. Instead of taking care of that positioning on the south, they're engaging west, right? And look at all these name tags. These are blue name tags as well, who are making sure that they're taking over that wall, right? Again, the entire thing that made Blue Army so strong, right, was that Blue Army always dominated terrain. Terrain was so important for Blue Army. Blue Army never lost terrain. And if Blue Army ever did lose terrain, they just lost the fight. It's that simple, right? Because the terrain matters so incredibly much, because terrain will give you angles.
Comes to west, comes to west, comes to west. Yo, Princeton, comes to west. Get ready to engage east in 15 seconds. Get ready, boys. Walk to east, cut off the angle, boys.
See, again, they're fighting for the angle, right? At this point, Africa is also fighting for the angle, because I see him down here on the southeast, and he's trying to push really hard on that wall. But remember, what's the difference, right? What's the difference? Blue Army is also fighting for the wall, but Blue Army is also taking extra position to the northwest. While the difference is that Call, Homeless Crew, and June are all hugging the wall and coming together. Here's the Negro, and June is back here, right? So the positioning, remember how we were looking at Daz and how he used the positioning to kind of envelop enemy Zergs? Here we have the positioning of Blue Army that can engage like this, right? So this is very, very important. Again, fights are won by positioning, fights are won by terrain. And the way that today a lot of the fights are happening is not by terrain, it's happening by just getting big kills, right? But it's super risky to play that way. I never, when I'm teaching people how to play the game and stuff and how to call, things like that, I never tell people to focus on getting kills, because that should be the last thing you should ever focus on, right? The hardest fights this game has ever had were around season 13, right? Around this time, these were some of the hardest fights this game has ever had on either side, right? And the fact that the fights were fought this way shows a lot.
Thanks.
Get ready to these on Homeless Crew. Get ready, boys. Get ready on Homeless Crew. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Southeast down, boys.
So, see, again, what did I say, right? The angles. Remember, the group is up there and the group is down here. And they're fighting for the wall down here, right? Now, Homeless Crew almost got the wall, but at what cost? Because they almost got the wall, but they didn't have the spread, right? This is June up here, but they don't have enough spread. They're getting too clumped. They're going to lose this wall.
Southeast down, boys. Southeast down. Yo, east, boys.
Huge
They have
clumps.
more east here too. Yo, listen. You guys need to take the southeast angle.
See, again, you saw all the damage here? The damage was also over here and up there. Remember, it's pressure damage. You're not trying to get kills. You're trying to get the enemy to back up and give up position. And that's what's happening right now. See these guys that are low? They're going to back up.
We're at the south corner. They're full pushing me. We're at the south corner.
We're on the wall now.
Okay. What side are you? Okay.
Boom. Full sprint northeast. Right? This is what it does. And now because of that, see, they didn't even get that many kills. I think Blue Army here only got like 3 kills. Right? But now because of that, look at that. The full positioning. Now that's it. From this point forward, Blue Army wins the wall. They win position. They win the south angle. And from this point forward, the fight becomes 10 times easier and it ends very, very quickly.
Okay, can you play side by side with me? We're pushing northeast into them. Alright, walk east here. Okay, yo, no, but I'm watching you. Come to west here.
So here they're doing one last push, right? One last attempt. But look at this. They got people here watching the wall. They got people here. Remember, the strong center. Very important, right? This is the strong center. Although they're kind of clumped. But that's okay. It's because they're holding the center, making sure that the center does not budge. And because of that center, they can't just engage south because they'll get countered on by the center, right? From this way. Right? So they can't just engage south even though that's what they want to do. Because again, they want to win the wall.
Get ready, boys? Engage you and me. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. East down.
And now look at the positioning. There's Blue Army tags up here, the center, and the wall. And they're all engaging together in the same direction. Now, these guys up here are actually not engaging, right? What they're actually doing up there is that June is up there, and June is trying to dislodge them on that position. So these guys are actually just holding these guys off. But you're still outflanking the south side, right? These are all things that are happening in the fight in real time. And I know it might seem like I'm that meme, that crazy guy with the meme that's just like drawing on the board and all that, right? I don't know from what show it is, right? I know that sometimes it may seem that way. But I promise you, all of these things are things that the callers, like Mojo right now, understands and is keeping in mind. And this is why he's making these decisions that he's making, right? It's very, very easy to just be like, oh no, you're overthinking it. You're not. This is literally what is happening. And this is literally why Homeless Crew loses this fight in the end.
East down, boys. Pop pushes come in. Full east. Trade with them. We win the trade, boys. Full push east here. Okay, yo, listen. We're winning our fight. You need the kite.
See, again, the communication with TeamSpeak, right? Communication with TeamSpeak. And he says, we're winning our fight. Why? Because he already won. He already won this fight. He knows it. He already won this fight. He dislodged the enemy. He has control. He has full control. Not only that, Homeless Crew's going that way. June, remember June went west and tried to engage the north flank of Blue Army? Well, now June is over here. Where now, remember what I said, the center, right? You need to have a strong center. There's no center here. There's no center left. Because the two Zergs, June and Homeless Crew, are splitting from each other at this point.
We'll keep walking with these, keep chasing them, okay?
Just spread out a bit as you walk. Good front line here.
Yo, no, but I still don't see you, no. You need to play next to me.
So because of that, June backs up, right? Which is the right call. They did a good job here, backing up, right? Now they're trying to group up there in the north.
Drive in. We need help. Come north here.
Walking a bit west now.
Come south. They're full engaging me. I'm gonna hit northwest here. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Northwest down, boys.
Look at that wall. Completely won, right? So now the enemy's engaging from what direction? North to south. And this is the entire enemy, by the way. They grouped up and walked west, and now they're engaging from north to south. It's atrocious. Can they get kills this way? Sure, they might get some kills. But overall, they're handicapped right now compared to Blue Army. Blue Army has the complete and total domination of this fight at this point, right? Now, I will say in a few seconds, I think in like 20 seconds or so, the guy that we're watching DCs, so he doesn't end up seeing the end of the fight. But at that point, the fight is over anyway. It's just a matter of continuing to just walk the enemy down.
Nice. Yo, we got kills. Come back south, my boys. Kite back south here. Yo, no. Try to play next to me. Come on.
Now, one thing that Blue Army's not doing here is that they should be putting more pressure on this east here, because they're actually giving June and Homeless Crew a chance to regain that wall. If they really wanted to, they can go back to that wall southeast and then engage southwest, right? But Blue Army is kind of backing off of this wall right here, and that's a big gap, right? A lot of people are like, oh no, well, Blue Army made a lot of mistakes. Yeah, I mean, Blue Army makes mistakes too. I mean, Blue Army was not perfect, right? So this was one of the mistakes that Blue Army made here, is that this is a big gap and they can just take advantage of that. But they didn't. That's the problem, is that, remember, one thing is understanding what you should be doing, and another thing is applying that on the field, right? And actually playing that counter, right? You know what you're supposed to do, but you don't do it. Maybe because you're nervous or you're hyped or you're whatever it is, right? This is why what Daz was doing in the last fight, staying chill, staying calm, is very important. And if you've noticed, I haven't mentioned it, but if you've noticed, this entire fight, Mojo's been absolutely calm, right? Absolutely relaxed. Like, never has he gotten that kind of out of hand or anything, right? So that's the point, right? Staying calm is very important for the caller. It helps you make the right calls. So now I'm gonna skip forward to the next fight. This entire part of the video, it's like there's some fights and stuff, but it's not really good angles that we can actually critique very well. He tends to be kind of out of position very often in this moment. So the second fight was 21 UTC, this same exact day, right? So the first fight was 18 UTC. So now we're going into the next fight. If anybody has any questions, by the way, any questions about anything, you guys can drop it in the chat, and then I am watching the chat, so I'll respond to you guys.
Okay. Keep those. Okay, keep walking first. Who's the block?
So again, this is a totally different fight, but I'm pretty sure this is the same map.
PoE, scenic here.
Okay, 20 seconds they're in. Okay, yo, give it a turn on this. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yo, turn southeast. They're not ready for this. Yo, turn southeast, boys. On the
So here he's turning southeast because the enemy is coming through a choke. You can't see it, but there's a wall here, okay? So the enemy is actually coming through a choke, chasing the Blue Army guys, right? So Blue Army or Mojo looks at this and realizes that he has a chance to delete all these guys that are overextended, especially this group over here on the west.
On the front. Finish the whole front line here. Finish the whole fucking front line. And then keep walking over. Nice. We get kills. Now keep walking over.
Hey, Menace is looking to go on the wall side.
Now remember angles, right? Blue Army right now has the shittiest angle. Absolutely shittiest angle, right? So right now, as it is, Call has the better positioning.
Keep walking up west. Menace is taking our wall side. Okay. Keep buying time. Keep going. Okay, nice.
So here he's talking about they're taking the wall side, right? Now they have enemies that are coming up here to this ridge, right? That are gonna try to flank them, right? So he's already looking at what is happening and how is the fight flowing. Yes, he's backing up, but he's also looking at possible angles to come out from, because these guys that are gonna come up here, you can see their name tags already. These guys that are up here, right? They can come in and flank you, or you can flank them and hit them while you hold the southeast side, right? So every time that the enemy kind of tries to counter you or tries to flank you is an opportunity for you to actually hit them and isolate them.
Cars on the wall, though.
We're gonna keep heading. Yo, see how you got my wall?
Yeah, okay, they have moving to nowhere.
So here's Pendolino, right? Hitting right there.
Yo, walk north. Yo, give it. Turn on Menace to the south here. Yo, give it.
So now he's gonna turn on Menace here because Menace is farther up here and Pendolino is all the way up here. The main Zerg of Blue Army is up here. So they're actually fighting 1v1, right? These guys are kind of just on the side. They're not an actual Zerg. They're just kind of doing their own thing, right? And this is one of the things that Blue Army did a lot. They had a lot of players that were able to kind of operate on their own. These guys are like 20, 25 dudes who are literally operating on their own. I know some of them are in comms together because they were in bomb squads and stuff, but generally speaking, like, they're holding off an entire front on their own, and it allows the caller to do these kinds of plays.
Security boys. Yo, Cynic, I need to know what you're doing, man. Okay, give me boys. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squad southeast. On Pendolino, on Menace here. Whatever the fuck. East.
We are too split, guys.
Yeah, we're too split. Come northeast. Yo, run over this group.
Big Mojo right now.
Listen.
So here, he engages south, which was a fine engage. But Blue Army, the Zerg, fucked up. Because there were a lot of people that were far west, and the people that were north didn't actually engage, right? They didn't go in. Now, think about this. Why didn't they engage? Blue Army at this time was at the top of their game. Why didn't the top players in the game engage right here when it was actually a really good call? Well, because they don't have angle, right? They just don't have angle. They can't see shit. So they say, okay, yeah, engage southeast, but what the fuck does that mean? I can't see anything. Look, you try to look southeast, what the hell do you see? A bunch of tags, but you don't actually see anything, right? It's hard. It's really hard to actually engage at this angle, right? And this is why he decides, Mojo at this point decides, no, we can't fight this way. We got to change it up. We got to do something different.
Walk north together. Yeah, keep pending. Play the long game. Keep walking north.
So what do you say right there? Play the long game, right? Play the long game. He understands that right now he's at a huge disadvantage, right? Remember, it's very important to assess and reassess the fights at every point in time, right? And this is one thing that Mojo did extremely well while he was calling, right? He kept on checking and seeing and understanding how the fight was flowing, what was working and what wasn't working, right? He made a call. It was a good call, but his Zerg didn't do it. So therefore, he doesn't want to do it again. Because he knows that his Zerg is not going to follow the call, right? Understanding that your Zerg is not necessarily like your slaves who are just going to do whatever you want, whenever you want. Understanding that you have to give your Zerg the ability to actually engage and trust your calls is very important, even during the fight.
Walking up here. Yo, squad, we're going north. Play together.
Yeah, hard choke.
Yo, let him come through the truck. We bait him through the truck. Let him come through the truck. Come so west from the truck. They're gonna collapse on POE. Come south. Yo,
So see that? He's saying they're going to collapse on PoE. He knows that they stopped chasing, right? They stopped chasing down there. So he knows they stopped chasing. So what are they going to do? They're going to collapse on our allies, right? They're going to collapse on the allies. This is extremely, extremely important. Again, he's understanding what is happening. He knows they're going to collapse on the allies. We can't allow them to do that. They stop chasing us. That means they're going to go after them. We have to help them.
PoE, I see you. PoE, I see you. I'm just about to go on the road, PoE. I'm just about to go on the road.
So here he mounts up. They just cut out the video, but he mounts up and then he runs around. They were back there, like where my cursor is, all the way in the north. Now they're dismounting on the far side.
Over here. You see me? You see me? You ready?
So here, PoE is right there, and they're backing up northwest, right? They're backing up northwest. This is just one guy of PoE, but he's not with the main Zerg. Call is over here, right? The guys that were chasing Blue Army, they're over here, and they're walking west to try to hit PoE over there. Because down there, and I know you guys can't see all of this, but I'm explaining it, right? By the wall, down over here, by the wall on the minimap, right? They're getting chased by a different Zerg, and I'm pretty sure it's Homeless Crew that's down there. And then the rest of Call is over here going and turning on them, right?
Turn, you ready to turn? You ready to turn? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm turning. Come south.
So here he tells PoE, are you ready to turn? Are you ready to turn and hold that so that I can swing around and hit them there? Right? That's what he's trying to do. He's communicating, every single thing communicating with each other.
Come south. Directly south. Smash the whole line. Nice. We put the bunch here. Keep killing the front. Yo, this people's almost dismounted. Come back north.
So here, it's actually a mistake what they did here, right? So this is one of the mistakes right here. This was a pretty bad mistake. But again, the Blue Army Zerg was so good that it didn't even affect, right? But this was a very big mistake because you have a wall here, and some rocks here, right? The enemy already mostly crossed over, right? They're down there on the southwest, right? So you try to delete them here on in this middle choke, right? And you did kill some, didn't kill too many, but killed some, okay? But that's fine. But you didn't kill enough to be able to actually completely crash through that choke, right? So right here, Mojo should have immediately gone back north. Immediately. This was a terrible overexposure, to be honest, right? This was a very, very bad overexposure. But remember, again, the individual players in Blue Army were so good, they're already spreading to the east and trying to win angle, right? Trying to make space for the rest of the Zerg, right? And then here, when they get hit, the supports and disengaged tanks do their job really well. Right? Either way, this was a mistake from the caller, but the Zerg was able to cover it really well.
Nice, they didn't kill anybody. Walks east again.
So now he pulls back. See all these locusts perfectly on time. Heals are there. You see heals right there, right? Judicator, armors on the ground, right? And now he realizes they didn't kill anything. That's it. This is a great moment, right? Because Mojo made the mistake, but then Call didn't get any kills. So Call needs to back up because they didn't get any kills. They have to back up because now they know that Blue Army can come down and hit them. If Call decides to stay here after that failed engagement, then they're gonna get full wiped.
Yeah, walk to the east inside. Walk to the east inside again. Yo, kill everybody leaving behind. Kill everybody leaving behind. Nice. Okay.
So they didn't back off. Their guys over here at Pendolino are chasing northwest, and the other guys are trying to just hold there. They didn't back off, right? They're trying to hold the choke no matter what.
Okay, if you can pull them back, don't worry. Yo, keep killing the guys inside of us. It's free kills. They're not getting kills. Okay, come south to the back,
So now they move back, and Blue Army is taking full control and full positioning. They move back because they're going to try to completely crash into PoE and run PoE down. Right? They think they can run PoE down, which is not a bad idea from Call at this point, but they can't let Blue Army pass this choke. They just can't, right? Now, Blue Army could have hit them, right? Because they have cooldowns right now, but they haven't hit because they're waiting to have a better angle. Because right now, again, Blue Army is still fighting north to south.
A little bit. Yo, let me know if they push you west. Yo, come south. Yo, we can hit the backline here. Yo, Cindy, you ready? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Southwest, boys. Oh my god, it's huge. It's huge, boys. No, take this south angle from them.
Boom. What's the first thing he says? Let's hit them southwest. That's great. Let's hit them southwest. But the first thing he actually says is take the south angle from them. Right? Again, it's so incredibly important. So far, Blue Army has made mistakes. Blue Army has not really been effective in the fight. Right? Blue Army has really not done too much in the fight this entire time. And the fight's been going on 2.5 minutes. Right? But Blue Army takes angle and suddenly everything changes.
Angle for them. Yo, we're pushing behind them. We're pushing behind them. Come south more. Come south more. We're wiping their back line. We're wiping the back line. Come through south. Come through them south. Come through them south. My boys, come through them south. Come through them south.
Oh no, give me a second. I think it's loading. No! Hold on.
Come south more. Come south more. We're wiping their back line. We're wiping the back line. Come through south.
Here, we're at minute 11:30. I'm gonna just refresh it. Hold on. Yeah, the internet bill. Yeah, somehow I'm streaming, but this video don't want to load. Yo, it's broken, dude. It's absolutely broken. Hold on, let me put it on the other one. Yo, did YouTube go down? Yo, what's going on? Hold on. Yo, YouTube crashed, dude? No way. Yo, can one of you guys like on your computer check if YouTube's down? Like on YouTube? Mine just stopped. Oh, bro. YouTube got hacked. Okay, there we go. We got it. All right, we were like what, minute 11 something? Hold on, because the fight was almost over, man. Yeah, we're around here. 11:33. All right, yeah. All right, let me put it back. Yo, that's weird, dude. YouTube's it's getting hacked or something, dude. All right, we're gonna keep it going.
Allows his attacking squad.
Okay, yo, my boys, take this south angle and look to the west. My boys, take this south angle and look to the west. Yo, we're behind them, We're behind them. We're behind them. Yeah, we're gonna push. We're gonna push to the west. We're gonna push to the west here. Get ready, boys. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Full push northwest. Full push northwest, boys. Into the back. It's huge. In the back line.
Suddenly, everything changes. Blue Army has angle, and suddenly everything changes. The fight was not going well. Blue Army was doing absolutely nothing. PoE was losing their side of the fight. The moment Blue Army got angle, it's a whole different fight. It's like we're watching like completely different Zergs fighting.
Cynic, you still alive? You still good? Okay, keep walking here. Okay, nice. Yo, where the
see the constant communication with the allies, right? Like at this point, this motherfucker's having a whole conversation with them. Like, hey, yo, he's asking them about like, oh, how was the beach last week? You know, like they're just talking, right? They're just talking back and forth. Hey, how are you doing? What's going on over there, right? I'm pushing through them. This is what I'm doing. What are you doing? How are you doing? We're good over here, right? That constant communication, and it's clear. It's clear communication. There's so many callers that they're trying to give information on TeamSpeak, but they kind of get jumbled up, and they're like, I'm west. I'm hitting west. It's like, okay, west of what? Like, I don't see your screen, man. Like west of the outpost, west of the territory. Like west of what? You know, and like. Being able to communicate clearly and concisely is very, very important.
Destroying them in the back. We're destroying them in the back. Yo, keep walking northwest. Come through, boys. They used everything. Yo, next engage in 10 seconds. Yo, it's gonna be huge here. Okay. Come on, boys. It's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. West. By the wall, west.
Again, even though they already have angle, they're ensuring they're taking the wall still to the west, right? The focus is on the west wall, right? Yeah, you can hit up there. Look at all those reds, man. The majority of those reds are call, by the way, right? Because PoE is still too far to the north, and actually PoE is getting pinned to the west wall as well, right? PoE is kind of starting to fracture here because again, the Blue Army, the squad PoE coalition was losing this fight, right? Like 100%. Like they were losing this fight. The moment they took angle, everything changed.
What was? Take the wall west. March in. Beautiful. We killed another 20. Keep walking northwest. Keep walking northwest, boys. This is it. This is it here.
30
Next
coming
engagement,
in,
fucking
30
dead.
plus coming in.
Beautiful. Yo, they're almost dead. They're almost done here.
I know there's reds up there in the northeast, but that's allies. That's the different PoE allies.
Nick, keep heading north. Yo, I got one more engage. I'm gonna hit him west here.
And they weren't in the fight, by the way. They just came in on the last queue, right? Like they weren't in the fight this entire time.
Get ready, boys. They're fighting west. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. West down. Some of them is PoE, but yo, go deep, boys. Go deep, boys. Yo, come around the bridge.
I think that guy was running naked. I think he lost his overcharge. Yo, he's gigged with a broken overcharge. Yo, what the hell, dude? This motherfucker lives though. That's crazy. He has boots though, because he runs fast.
Go deep, boys.
Look at it.
Yo, come around the bridge.
Yo.
Come around the bridge.
Later that same evening.
All right. Anyway, that's basically over, right? They run him down. It's over at that point. Let me switch back here. I think I switched back. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically it, right? That's basically it for the two videos. Like I said, the focus today was mostly on control of fights, right? And the reason I picked both these videos is because I wanted to show fights that showed control and how control can actually win fights. Because the last 2 weeks we were looking at how Zergs are playing today, and how Zergs are playing today predominantly they're playing in a very aggressive manner, in a way in which you have to get kills with every engage, right? There's not a lot of positioning that like takes control of the fight. It's more about who gets the kills first, right? And back then it was actually totally different, right? It was the opposite, where you actually had to control the fight, and then once you controlled the fight, once you controlled the angle, the terrain, right, the positioning, then suddenly you started finishing up the fight, right? Now, the first video we watched was actually Fax, and it was only a few days ago, right? So what I'm saying is, a lot of people tell me this argument. They say, oh, the control style ZvZ just doesn't work anymore, right? Because they made changes to debuff, and they made changes to weapons, and they made changes to the game, and blah blah blah. It's not true. It's not true. Well, it's true that they made changes, but it's not true that you can't play control anymore. It's not true at all, right? Fax just showed it perfectly. They were in complete and utter control of their fight. Blue Army, in the first fight, started with a shitty angle, and then they won the angle, and then they won the fight. In the second one, Blue Army had a terrible angle, and it wasn't until Blue Army was able to take angle that Blue Army actually contributed to the fight, right? But it's very easy for people on both sides to look at Zergs, especially like Blue Army, and just make opinions based on what side you were when they were around. People who were with Blue Army or fighting alongside Blue Army, like people in other guilds like Squad and stuff like that, Armor, right? Those people tend to think, oh yeah, Blue Army was amazing. They were gods. They never did anything wrong. And that's not true. That's not true. Just like I showed you, right? Mojo made a couple of bad calls there, right? There were a couple things that individual players were just not doing as well, right? But then there were also things that they were doing great. Now, if you're on the opposite side of the fence and you were, against Blue Army and you didn't like Blue Army at the time or whatever, for whatever reason, then you start thinking, oh, well, they just got lucky, or they just had numbers, or they just had whatever, right? And it's very easy to make those assessments, to just say, well, we lost because they had numbers, or we lost because whatever, right? But this is exactly why we do these VOD reviews in the way that we do them. It's because we look at them, we look at these videos without bias, right? Now, like I said, I was part of Blue Army at this time, right? I was in the second fight that we watched from Blue Army, I wasn't in the first one. But the thing is that we have to look at these without bias. We have to look at them and actually acknowledge what things Blue Army did at that time that worked and what things they did that didn't work. Their mistakes as well as their accomplishments, because that's how we can get better, right? And Fax does something recently that is very, very similar to the way that Blue Army used to play back then. And when I say Blue Army, honestly, I'm only saying Blue Army because Blue Army did it the best. But to be honest, everybody back then used to play that way, right? PoE used to play that way. Elevate used to play that way. Homeless Crew used to play that way, right? Everybody used to play that way. That's just the truth, right? So nowadays, everybody plays the opposite, where it's all about getting the kills, getting quick kills, getting that moving, and that's it, right? But it's less about positioning and it's less about pressure over time, right? It's all about clumping that one big clump, getting that highlight reel, and getting the win, right? But again, it's very risky to play that way. And in the highest levels of ZvZ, it's not efficient to play that way. It's not. It's just not, right? Just because it's working right now does not mean it's the best. There are better ways to play. And that's the main purpose of this video. There's a video, I can actually show it here. Let me see. Yeah, on this screen. Yeah, so there's an episode. Let me see when it is. It's a terrain episode. You know what? I don't think I have it on here yet because it's farther out. It's gonna be like mid-May. Like in mid-May, we're gonna have a whole episode talking about terrain. Okay? And that's because terrain is extremely, extremely important to these fights, man. Right? Getting better in ZvZ, it really, really comes down a lot to how you assess the terrain and the situation that the enemy is putting you in. And then how you're gonna respond to all that. Right? So understanding how important things like the walls, right? How Mojo kept saying, you know, we got to take over that wall, right? We got to get angle from them, right? Those two things are extremely important, but they're not important just for callers. They're important for individual players. Because if you think about everything I just talked about today, neither Fax nor Blue Army could have been able to do as well as they did if they didn't have individual players knowing and understanding those things were important and doing it themselves little by little without the caller telling them to do it, right? The caller controls the general control of the ZvZ, of the fight, but the caller is not responsible for the individual little things that actually matter a lot, such as taking over the wall. A lot of callers decide we're going to full engage on the wall, but they know that's not optimal. They know it's not optimal. They prefer if the Zerg just naturally pushes that wall and takes control of that angle naturally. They prefer that. But a lot of players don't do it. They just don't do it. They prefer to just look at the enemy and fight the enemy and hit the enemy. You're not fighting the enemy. You're fighting the terrain. And then you fight the enemy. Right? It's very, very important. So anyway, if anybody got any questions about anything, go ahead and drop it in the chat right now. I'll respond. But yeah, we're basically done now. I'll give you guys a minute or two. Tomorrow, let me see here. Tomorrow, or not tomorrow, sorry, the next time. The next stream is gonna be on Friday, 00 UTC, as always. We have, let me see. I'm gonna show it back again. VOD review 3. Yeah, we got range Zergs. Range Zergs. So yeah, this coming Friday and then Saturday, we're gonna have range Zergs and then melee Zergs, right? We're gonna talk about the differences in between